it would be easy for me to dwell on the fact that I can't walk, but I don't do that. I think about the fact that I can make a difference with the words that I speak.
Have you ever studied the bumblebee? All the laws of aerodynamics say it shouldn't be able to fly. Its wings are too small for the size of its body. There's not enough lift. But here's the key. Nobody told the bumblebee. It didn't get the memo. No experts were able to talk it out of it. That bumblebee felt its wings. Something in its DNA said, I'm supposed to fly. I'm made for more than crawling around on the ground. It didn't go check with the experts. Didn't go read the latest engineering report. It just did what was natural, started flapping its wings and took off. If that bumblebee would have been able to listen to the naysayers, and read all the negative reports, study the reasons why it shouldn't be able to fly, it would have never gotten off the ground. It starts in your mind. If you don't think you can be successful, you won't. If you don't think you're talented, then you're not. If you don't think you'll ever meet the right person, you never will. Not because you're not able, but because your software, your thinking is limited. It's interesting how little children start off so excited about life. They have big dreams. They're going to be an astronaut, a scientist, a singer, a teacher, a baseball player. They believe they can do anything. They're not intimidated. They're not insecure. They've got that spring in their step. It's because they just came from their Creator. Their thinking has not been contaminated. They can feel those seeds of greatness. Joshua 1:8 says, if you will meditate on what God says about you, then you will prosper and have good success in everything you do. When your mind is filled with thoughts of faith, hope, and victory, God will open doors that you couldn't open, help you overcome what looked impossible. When we find ourselves stuck in a rut, not believing we can rise higher, we need to ask ourselves, why do I think this way? Who programmed me to give up on my dreams? Who programmed me to think I could never lose this weight? Who programmed me to think I was only average? Where did those thoughts come from? Could it be that you've accepted wrong mindsets because of the environment you were raised in, the people you were around? Just because it seems normal to you doesn't mean that it is normal. Maybe everybody you grew up with was negative. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be negative. Maybe none of your friends had dreams and did much with their life. That doesn't mean it's okay for you. That's not normal. Just because people in your family had addictions, bad habits, don't make the mistake of believing that's the way you should live. That's a virus that's infiltrated your software. You were created to rise higher, to be confident, secure, positive, free, healthy. You have greatness on the inside. You have to reprogram your thinking. When you make up your mind to think the right thoughts, to approach obstacles with the mindset of victory, then you can live your best life no matter what life throws your way. That's what Emma Kanaka discovered.
It was June 6, 2009. I'm going down this field. I shed a blocker. I see the ball carrier. I go to make this tackle, and something just does not feel right. I go down, he goes down, he stands up, and I'm struggling. I can't get up. If you've ever bumped your elbow and hit your funny bone and gotten that tingly feeling in your pinky, you'll know what I felt over my entire body. The silence in the audience is deafening. I've watched sports my entire life, and whether you are walking off, limping off, carried off, you do something to let everyone know you're gonna be okay. You wave, put a thumb up, and I went to do that and I couldn't move anything. I had underwent a 9-hour neck surgery the next day and spent 10 days in ICU. I am doing everything that the doctors and my physical therapists are telling me to do. They want me to wake up early, I'm waking up. They want me to do therapy, I'm doing therapy. They want me to eat this, do that. I'm doing everything they're telling me to do. The light at the end of the tunnel was getting out of the hospital. I worked so hard and was so ready to get out of the hospital because I felt like once I got out of the hospital, my life was just going to pick back up where I left off. I was not ready for that light at the end of the tunnel to be a train in the form of life with disability.
Emeka expected to walk out of the hospital. Instead, he went home in a wheelchair. His injury not only changed his life, it changed the vision for his future.
Before my accident, I was a college student and an athlete. 6'5", 245 pounds, 250 pounds my playing weight, and I ran a 4.5 40. And at that size, that is very, very fast. I knew that this was gonna be my chance now to make everyone proud, to make my parents proud, make my sisters proud, and to do something with my life. My biggest dream was to play in the NFL. Then the doctor came and would tell me that they were drawing up my discharge papers and that they were releasing me to go back to life. I didn't look better, I didn't feel better. I was supposed to walk out of that hospital, not be wheeled out of it. This was the beginning of my recovery. My recovery didn't start after surgery. It started after the realization that my life was never going to be the same again.
Going from a star athlete with a bright future to confined to a wheelchair is hard. Emeka struggled to overcome his new place in life. He struggled to see why something like this would happen to him.
I just cry out to God, why? Like, why me? Why now? Why is this happening? I had nights where I couldn't sleep, and I am replaying in my mind all the good deeds I've ever done. And then I'm thinking in my mind all the bad deeds I've ever done and trying to weigh them out. It's like, okay, did I do too much bad? Did I not do enough good? And the answer that I got was, instead of asking why, ask how. And then I pondered that for a second. I was like, how? Yes, how can you use this to make a difference? And that flip in the question changed my entire disposition. Because when I asked why, it made me a victim. And then when I started asking how, it gave me power over my entire situation.
When Emeka began to ask how instead of why, his mindset began to change. He started to see purpose in his life. When his thoughts changed about his situation, so did his actions.
I began to volunteer at a local youth group. As I began to tell my story over and over, I was reliving it. The good, the bad. I gained power every time I shared it with, a group of people, with a single person, with a little kid. Somehow in doing that, it freed me. It gave me so much more power to share my story with confidence. It's not something that is just, it happens overnight. It's work. It's exercising your faith and it's exercising the power of your thoughts. It required me taking time to wipe away all of the negative thoughts and the negative things that I looked through to get to the point where I see things a little bit more clear. The words that you tell yourself in the privacy of your own head matter. If you speak negative, you get more negative. You speak positive, you see more opportunities. It would be easy for me to dwell on the fact that I can't walk, but I don't do that. I think about the fact that I can make a difference with the words that I speak.
Emeka used the power of his thoughts and the power of his words to change his life. When he was able to reframe his injury as something with purpose, his attitude shifted, his mindset shifted, and now he's helping and mentoring others.
Life now is amazing. I get to do so much work with young people in my community. I am able to show people how to carry the burdens in their own life based on how I've shouldered the burdens of mine. I use my words and I use my testimony to help people overcome their own lives. And I love every bit of it, because where I might have lost my ability to walk, I gained my ability to talk.
At
TBN, our mission is to use every available means to reach as many individuals and families as possible with the life-changing gospel of Jesus Christ.
Thank you for helping make the gospel of grace go around the world.
Without you, we couldn't do it. God bless you.